Alright, so in this video I'm going to cover how to make paid ads work in 72 hours with a $100 budget by cracking this one thing using AI. Now, this one thing will also infinitely benefit your whole marketing system, your ads, your content, your VSLs, landing pages, emails, appointment setting scripts, sales calls, even your offer to a major extent. And this is for pretty much anybody who gets their clients through social media, through generating attention online, whether that's through content, whether that's through ads, whatever funnel you're running, it'll work for you. We primarily focus on established coaches, consultants, agency owners, and info business owners running paid ads. If you need our help, I'll go over more of that in the end, but we're only helping a few select people because we've had decent demand with this. And before I get into this thing like this, if you just apply this thing, like I'm obviously going to show you how we can help you in the end as well, but if you just apply these fundamentals right now, you can pretty much expect almost an instant overnight change, whether that's through ads. We run it through ads. We display this through the vehicle of ads first because that is the quickest way to get results, and those are the kind of people that we want to work with. But otherwise, even if it's through your content, through your VSLs, through your landing pages, so anybody who actually has any form of marketing online can really benefit from it. But who am I to say all of this before we kind of get into this? So a bit of track record about me. I've been in this whole online business space for about 2 years. I've worked with a couple of 7-figure, 8-figure agencies, 7-figure pretty much right now, but eventually will be 8 figures. And I worked mainly in the systems operations sort of area with them, and I had a background in filmmaking myself very deeply, so I combined kind of both of those skills. I scaled my agency up to about 13 to 14k a month, or about 10 to 12k, which was, if you guys have seen the animation ads which were both popping up, like I was doing those for a majority of the big guys in the space, if you've seen them. And there's a lot of people who've spin that up into offers as well, which is great because it's working. And yeah, but what I'm doing right now is I'm actually working on, with the systems background, on an AI business, which is not really an online business. It's completely different, which is one of the things with a couple of 8-figure, 7-figure exit entrepreneurs who aren't really in the online business space anyway. And I'm also working on using these skills within a marketing agency with my partner, who in fact has a coaching program. He's scaled that up to 50k a month using the exact same principles here. And collaboratively, we've spent about thousands of dollars in ad spend, and we haven't been able to collect the insights that this system allows us to collect within just 72 hours with a $100 budget, which just transforms the whole thing for us. But let's just get into it actually. So firstly, I want to ask kind of a question. Why is it that some people's stuff just works? I mean, I just wrote this right now before the call, but before this video. But why is it that some people's stuff just works online? If you see them, they're just able to sell their offers so effortlessly, whether it is through content, ads, emails, webinar funnels, whatever it may be. Everything seems to work for a select few at the top. And you might be wondering, like I was as well, is what is actually happening over here? What's actually going on? Like with this whole thing. Is it the I'm just gonna figure out how I want to move around. Yeah. Is it the funnel, the ads, the content? Is it the new editing style, the mass clipping army strategy, the DM funnel? What is it? Because like there's new funnel videos coming up every single day pretty much. But the truth is, it does not have anything to do with the funnel, the ads, the content, the emails, or any of that stuff in reality. None of that actually. The guys at the top have cracked something far more fundamental than all of this, which I'm going to correct as well right now. All of this is just the medium of delivery for the fundamental layer that most people are usually missing, which is why their ads are a hit or a miss. Their content does not attract the kind of people they want to, and they keep on switching from one strategy to the other, which is what we did as well, earlier on. And when things were working, and you'll note this for yourself as well. If you're watching this and you already have a business and you had some form of success, if you go back to when things actually worked, you'll be able to click that this was actually the thing that you were doing that was actually working for you, and then you'll be able to reverse engineer it and extrapolate it into the future to then scale whatever form of acquisition you run. But again, like unlocking it is like the magic key that can literally transform any business, including yours, if you have one, pretty much instantly. And if you're watching this, you probably should have a business, because if you're watching this and you don't have any online business, then that's pretty weird. But And it's funny how this is actually hiding in plain sight. All of the guys at the top use it every single day to make millions, and it is the core concept of all of the fundamental books that everyone reads in this space. And also, it is a concept that you probably would have seen and applied anyway in your life overall. Like you've already done this, you've already applied this, and I'm going to show you how as well. And you know this, so it's going to be insanely easy to apply this to your business once you kind of get this whole framing. And then I'll also show you guys the system and how we leverage AI to just basically speed run all of this so that you don't have to spend months and years or thousands of dollars in ad spend to actually figure this out, but you can just do it. Just going to pause this. This was a work block timer that I had set, but so yeah, as I said, all of the fundamental books are actually talking about this as well. So all of these books: breakthrough advertising, scientific advertising, copywriting secrets, influence, all of the books that everybody tells you to read basically go over this main concept, like this main thing. And it is not copywriting again. That is just the vehicle that is used to deliver that one thing that needs to happen before all of this. But the thing itself is not copywriting. I'm going to go over what the thing is right now in a bit. But as you see, like these all of these guys, whether it's Iman, whether it's Alex Hormozi, whether it's Tate, whether it's Charlie Morgan, even whether it's guys like, not be able to get a hang of this, even if it's guys like Jake Paul, Mr. Beast, all of them have seemed to crack this one thing. So what is this one thing? That's probably what you're asking right now. So the one thing that all of these books fundamentally talk about, and all of the guys at the top have cracked, is basically, if I sum it up for you, is knowing your audience, your customer, your ICP, like they don't know themselves, knowing them at their core. And again, it might seem like something that you think that you guys have already heard, but most people don't understand it to the core that I'm talking about. It's knowing your ICP, your target audience, your ideal client, your customers, whatever you want to call them, better than they know themselves. And this exact thing is highlighted in all of these books. So if you see breakthrough advertising, there is the audience, there is the language, there are the words that they use. So that's one of the quotes. This is the copywriter's task, not to create mass desire, but to channel and direct it. So the desire already exists. You just need to channelize it, and then the medium you do it through is copywriting. And how you display your copywriting, the vehicle that you display your copywriting through is YouTube videos, funnels, webinars, content, ads, emails, newsletters, sales scripts, whatever it may be. But you see, Claude Hopkins, scientific advertising. Remember, the people you address are selfish as well as we all are. They care nothing about your interests or profit. They seek service for themselves. Address the people you seek and them only. Then Robert Cialdini from Influence. People don't know why they do what they do. The truly gifted negotiator is able to get what he wants by giving others what they want, but you need to know what that thing is in the first place. Then Jim Edwards from Copywriting Secrets. Your job is to enter the conversation already happening in the customer's mind. The more you know your ideal customer, the more effective your copy will be. So all of these, basically, the core concept behind all of these books is basically just to know your customer better than they know themselves. Like it's just to know them so that, and if you think about it, it's quite obvious. If you know your customer better than they know themselves in relation to what you're selling, in relation to to your offer, you're able to extract their insecurities, the things that their emotional triggers, their pain points, their desires, their current situation, their desired situation, the gap that they need to fill, the transformation belief that they need to have to believe that what you're serving is going to get them from their current situation to the desired situation, and you're the one to fill that gap for them because you understand what that gap is in the first place as well. Also the deep level emotional triggers that go a layer beyond it. So everybody has the dialogue that they say through their words, which happens on sales calls, but then there's also the internal dialogue that's happening within their head, which is the why behind the why, which is something that they don't reveal, which is what you guys have probably always experienced on sales calls. The people say something like they need to talk to their wife, they need to do this, they need to do that, but usually it's not that thing. That is just an excuse. That is just the smoke that's coming on top, but the actual layer is expressed through their internal thought. But that is essentially what it is. It's knowing your customer audience like they don't know themselves, also known as finding your message market fit. That's the core of this, finding your message market fit. And how we kind of work around this is how we kind of portray this and leverage this in the quickest way possible is through paid ads. Because imagine if you actually, it's quite simple, right? everybody's fighting for the same attention. They have similar offers, they're using similar funnels. So what's the differentiator? It's how well you actually know your audience. It's how well you can extrapolate their internal thoughts and connect them to your offer, to your business, to your service, to your solution as the vehicle that takes them and fills the gap for them to take them from island A, which is their current situation, to island B, which is their desired situation. It is not what you say, it is how you say it and why you say what you say. So I'm going to actually draw some stuff over here. So I'm going to use white. Okay, so I'm going to display how you've actually already experienced this, right? So let's say this is what you need to do is basically know your ICP as if they are someone you've known since you're a kid. We can use an example of that. That's probably, someone like that is probably your dad, right? Your dad or your best friend, let's say your best friend probably, right? So your best friend is probably the easiest person to sell, provided that they were an actual ICP for your offer. Like if what you were selling was applicable to your best friend, they'd probably be the easiest person to sell, obviously. Provided that they actually want that thing in the first place, because you already know the objection they're going to have. You already know their specific situation, their specific pain points that they're actually trying to uncover, because people are always moving away from pain or towards a desire, and usually when they're moving towards a desire, that also means moving away from a pain in some form of way, some form or shape, in any way, right? So you already know that pain, that internal pain. You're just bridging the gap, and you say the actual things that they want to hear, and that's what you actually want to do. So you want to basically get closest on the spectrum. So like, this is the spectrum, this is you, and this is your ideal customer. And this basically, spectrum basically means how well you know them. You want to get to here, like if this is basically you knowing your best friend, you want to get as close to possible as to this end as you can, right? I'm going to explain this as well. So let's say you're trying to sell something to someone. Let's just use the common fitness example, somebody who helps people get shredded and get a six-pack or something like that. So this is you selling, this is that person selling this thing, and this is their ideal client, right? Now what they're selling essentially, which is going to be on this side, which is like, let's just say this is the product, right? This is like a ebook that they're selling, right? This is the product that they're selling. It's always going to get them the same result, which is just an ebook, which if they follow it, they're going to get fit, but most people don't actually follow it. But this is the person that they're selling to, right? Now the message market fit determines how your ads actually work, how your funnel works, how your content works, and if it works or not in the first place, right? There's different ways to saying the same thing. So this guy, let's just say this guy is a dad who's in his 40s and he wants to get fit, but if something said in a certain way will work for him and something said in a certain way won't work for him. So let's say one messaging angle, like the big idea. So what we're trying to figure out is basically the big idea behind the whole messaging. What we're trying to uncover is the main thing that we're trying to solve for our ICP. So if the main thing over here is, let's just say, get shredded on a budget, because that might be a main thing for, let's say, a college student, which is like separate ICP over here. So that's ICP 1. So like that might be applicable for that person. But if we communicate the get shredded on a budget angle to this person, well, it probably will miss, right? What we're trying to basically do is we're trying to get this green line which just hits over here, which just hits. So this one, again, I'm just going to actually use red right now. So if we say get shredded on a budget, well, this would probably miss, because this guy's 40 years old, he has money, he doesn't care about budget, he'll probably just skip it. And what that actually results in is, let's just say if you're spending ads, you run an ad campaign and you're getting a very expensive CPM, you're getting a low CTR, which relates to less amount of people coming onto your website. It's just a numbers thing, right? It's traffic generated, traffic to lead rate, leads, lead to opt-in rate, opt-in to call booking rate, if that's the funnel you're running, call booking to show up rate, show up to follow-up call rate, follow-up call to close rate, close to case study collected rate. So all the way from generating traffic to actually collecting a case study, all that's happening is basically your product market, your message market fit to actually get people interested in the thing, and then your product market fit to actually deliver the results, which again starts is kind of the same thing, because your product will be built around that. That's why I said it also affects your offers. But what this results in is an expensive CPM, expensive CTR, and basically unprofitable ads, content that doesn't work, emails that don't hit, emails that don't convert, a funnel that doesn't work, right? All of that started from just the initial thing of the headline. So let's say the headline was, get shredded on a budget. Well, that equals, minus, let's say, $100 per day on ad spend, or, your leads not converting, or whatever it may be, right? Because your ICP will see it, or maybe you tracked the wrong quality of leads because your program is, $1,000, and the guy who's being targeted for being shredded on a budget doesn't really can't really afford that, right? That's one angle, right? The second angle might be something like get your grocery list sorted, like a very easy to follow grocery list. That might be the second angle, and that also might not hit because this guy doesn't care about it, because maybe his wife does all the shopping. He just needs to make a list. He's rich, or whatever it may be, right? If your ICP, let's say, is rich 40-year-old tech entrepreneurs, well, then they probably have some help, and your program is worth 5k. Then, even if you say that you're going to get a grocery list that is very organized, that you can just plug and play and it's very easy to follow, well, it doesn't matter to them because they probably have a staff working in their house. They probably have a chef that does the grocery shopping, and they just get it. So again, it relates to minus $200 in ad spend, or whatever it may be, whatever form of traffic. That's why I said it works for everything. That's why I said, it works for your ads, content, PSL, landing page, emails, everything, right? So if you come back here, so that's again gonna result in a minus $200 ad spend. But now let's actually think about this guy. This guy is a tech entrepreneur. He's making 5 million a year, right? And the only thing that he doesn't feel proud of is his physique. The only thing that stops him from basically feeling good about himself, which is moving away from the pain of shame, or the pain of not being looked at in the way that he wants to be seen as, from his peers, from his wife, from his family, from everybody. And the only thing that doesn't allow him to see the reality in the form of his vision is him not having a six-pack, maybe, right? But in his situation, he has the money, he can afford a lot. But why, if you that's kind of the pain point he has. But if you go one layer deeper, why does he want to be in shape? Like, why does he want to see himself in shape? Maybe it's because I don't know, all of the guys have made their money and around him, and it's something that doesn't really motivate him because everybody owns the fancy cars and everything. So the only differentiating factor that he has is a good physique. Like, that's the only social status symbol that there is. Or it might also be that in his vision he sees spending time with his family and like playing sports with his kids, because now he's made all of that money, he wants to make good use of it, and he's worried that if he's not fit, then he won't be able to make use of it and actually spend quality time with his daughter, or whatever it may be. So if that's the messaging, if the messaging is something on the lines of let me just think of something, is imagine making all that money to not even play with to not even be able to beat your 11-year-old daughter in a race or something like that, right? Or to not actually ever be able to climb a mountain, whatever it may be, right? Whatever thing that relates to his vision, and that is said in the messaging, maybe something on the lines of you made all the money, now the money doesn't matter. What matters is how you actually present yourself physically, because everybody has the money around yourself. So the only thing that you can do to make yourself feel better than everybody else is getting a six-pack. So if that's the messaging that is used, then that might click. That might result in a positive ad spend, which positive return on ad spend, let's say plus $100 or plus 1.2 ROAS or whatever it may be. But the best part is it probably might result in a 5% increase in CTR, a 5% decrease in CPM, whatever it may be, a 10% increase in lead to opt-in rate, or like traffic to lead rate, lead to opt-in rate, opt-in to by opt-in I mean like a call booking, call show up rate, like whatever it may be. It extrapolates itself across the whole process, across the whole funnel. So actually, I was actually just making this this tracking sheet. Let me actually find it. Is this the one? I'm not sure if this is the one. No, this isn't the one. So it was. Anyways, I can't find it. So basically, the sheet just went over like all of the things that are actually happening inside of a funnel, which is basically traffic, to case study collected and all of the stages within that, and how this affects pretty much all of them. So that makes sense. But the thing is, what if you're the one selling this whole thing? Like, what if you're the one who's selling this get 6 packs in 6 weeks program, or whatever it may be, right? And this guy is actually your best friend or your brother or your dad or someone who you know. Well, then the pain points he has. You know that, okay, he has a daughter who he can't play with. Or he was saying, when you guys were out drinking one night, he was saying that, oh bro, like, I have so much money, and I just I can't run. Like, the other day I was running with my daughter and I got a sprain in my back, and I was like, what's my life even about if I can't spend time with my family in the way that I want to, even if I earn all of this money? And then the next day he sees an ad which says something on the lines of, do you want to become a 65-year-old billionaire who can not even have a good day with their family out in the outdoors and run and do fun stuff? Obviously said in a very very concise manner, and in a more organized manner. Well, if he sees that ad, he clicks, and you bet that he converts, because if it's a 5K program, it actually pinpointed his exact pain point, and the thing that you are aiming for is for people to just say, wow, this guy's like, it's like this guy is reading my mind. Like, that's what you're trying to create, and that results in everything. So that is basically figuring out your message market fit. And that is the secret why a lot of these guys succeed. If you think about it, like Iman, Andrew Tate, all these guys, the vehicles that they had, the systems that they had are built on top of it. So Andrew Tate had the mask clipping thing. Iman had whatever, like the YouTube videos in the beginning for SMMA niche specific. Then he wanted to go broader, and he was this online business overall. And then he just did these different things. At each layer of ascension, of expansion of his total addressable market, he knew the exact things that were going on in his ICP's head. He could literally role play a conversation, which is funnily enough what we do with this whole system as well. So that's the thing I'm working out of this, is that if you know your ICP, your ideal client audience, you know their current situation, their desired situation, the gap, their emotional triggers, their transformational beliefs, the search terms that they're searching online, the deeper level emotional triggers they have, and you can connect that, you can extrapolate all of that, you can analyze that, and you can connect that with your offer, and you can even basically simulate a role play conversation of all of the objections that they might have towards your offer, and then mention them within your ads. I mean, if you think about it, like, why do people who scale up, who get on more sales calls, like, why does their graph look like this? Like, why, like, it's like this, like this, and then suddenly it goes up? Because they get on more sales calls, they understand the problems of their audience, they understand the problems of their ICP, and then they can basically, they've gone through a list of 30 to 50 objections, they can just literally answer all of them through their traffic generation, trust building mechanisms. And it doesn't matter whether, obviously it matters, but this matters far more, because it keeps on changing. It might be a VSL for somebody, it might be a webinar for somebody, it might just be a sales letter for somebody, which is what we are using. It can be whatever, that's just the medium. But when they know these are the objections that people have, they can just almost pretty much list them out. Like, imagine if somebody was selling something and then you wanted to buy it, you were an ICP for it, and you had like an issue with it, a pain point, and then you were just thinking about it, and suddenly the answer or how that objection is handled is just answered in front of you, and then the next question, and then that's answered, and the next question, and then that's answered, and then that's a whole document that answers the very specific questions that you have. And if you have the money, well, you'll convert. So that's the magic, right? Because with ads, with content, and then everything obviously performs better in itself as well, but you can literally pay for traffic then. And if you have message market fit, if you already know those things, and if you list them out, and if you already answered them, well, then it'll reach the right people, they'll interact / click on it more, they'll take more action on it, which is becoming a lead, they'll want to talk to you and learn more about it, which is getting on a call probably, or talking to you in the DMs, and they'll have much more trust about it, because they can, it's like they think that you're the guy who solves or you're the guy or the girl that solves the exact issue that they have, because you said it throughout this whole process. And then they're eager to work with you, so they show up on the call, and then on the call itself they have more trust, so your show up rate, your close rate, everything increases. And then it just becomes a compounding feedback loop, because then you have people you actually want to work with, and then all of those people lead to good case studies, which is the end of this process, end of this feedback loop, which then again goes back to generating more and better traffic for the kind of people that you want to attract. All of that basically starts from this, which is message market fit. But That's the problem. It's You obviously now logically understand that message market fit, and you probably already did, but you might have not noticed it. It is the easiest thing to understand now. It is blatantly obvious, but the problem is that you want message market fit, but most people, either they're fully in the trenches, they're in an industry for years, they know the exact nuances, they know everything about it, and they just know what it will be, and then they have message market fit from the get-go. That's why we see a lot of these founders, these tech entrepreneurs. We see guys like Elon Musk. I don't even know, like other guys who build a successful startup and then just carry it over. It's like they have this bank of assets within their head. A big part of it is having a message market fit and actually a product market fit. It is developing a product that the market actually wants, and you realize that before they do, and then expressing it, showing it in a way that they want to see, and connecting those things, and you have a successful business. It's just having a product that does the work and a way to get clients to do that product. It's just bridging that gap. And yeah, so it's quite obvious that that is what you need, but those are the one kind of people that actually do it, that actually get message market fit, is the guys who have spent years, if not decades, in a market, and in the online space probably more towards months and years, in a market, in the trenches, knowing the nuances, knowing the pain points, which is anyways going to be there. Like that's anyways required. That's insanely valuable anyway, but you can speed run that, you can add leverage to that. That's what all of these businesses do actually. And then the second kind of person is probably a combination of those things, which is somebody who has a big budget. That is why you see a lot of these entrepreneurs, these guys on like I'm just gonna see on YouTube, like guys like this guy. I was seeing this guy's videos. I don't know how much time he's been on YouTube, but let me actually see. So his first video was like 3 years ago, but he actually started posting, let's just say 6 months back, right? Because everything before that was just completely different. Within 6 months, he's got 359k views, 7.5k views, and it's obviously very targeted, and he's doing really well. 23k views, 228k views, and he's converting. He's built a $200 million business. And then there's guys like, I don't know how much time Dan Martell has been on YouTube, but even with him, right, like you just see them going hard on content, and you see these guys say something like, I started becoming serious about content, and it just suddenly works. And you're like, well, how does it work for them? They just became serious about content and it worked. Well, it is because they spent a lot of time within the space, within the market, and they understood it, and they have message market fit, so they can just deliver it and they can position themselves. And then they also have the resources, they have the team, they have the production team, they have the editing team, they have everything to actually fulfill that and systemize it in the vehicle that they're going to transfer it. But also they have money, right? So they've either they have time, they've spent time, or they have money, which is just a shortcut to time, right? So they can spend money on ads and a bunch of testing angles and a bunch of this and that and a bunch of different videos and a whole team to do this. So you basically want to get message market fit, but you don't want to spend thousands of dollars on ads or content or whatever, or you don't want to spend months and months of trial and error, or both actually, and then also you're not guaranteed it, but you want to get message market fit because you understand this. Well, that is exactly where we kind of come in, because that's exactly where AI comes in as well. Because if you think about it, like most people can't wrap their head around how valuable AI actually is because earlier knowledge was the thing that held value, right? Like knowledge and knowledge transfer. But now all of the knowledge is infinitely there. It's not a scarce resource anymore, because you can just do a chat GPT thing and you can get custom answers to whatever it is that you need based on your specific situation. So what you're basically doing is you're condensing time. That's all of these, like anything that is of value is basically time condensed, whether it is a product, whether it is a service. It is how much time can you condense into a package that you can replicate for a margin of the cost in terms of the time that was actually spent on it, and based on that, how much markup can you add on top of it, and then obviously the message market fit to be able to sell it profitably. But AI can do that for you, and it can do that really, really, really well. And most people don't understand the scale at which this can operate. So what that results in, let me actually just get down to an example, or like what this actually results in overall. We've built the system called the AI mind reader engine. And what this basically results in is cracking paid ads, or getting your message market fit to crack paid ads within $100 budget, I mean, we actually did this with an $89 budget, and we just started our ads, I think, a day before. And already we were also yet to see the results and how they convert, because the sales cycle is a bit longer, but we got a 4.3 CTR, which is pretty good for the space that we're in. And we got on a call with the client, with a potential client doing 4 million a year, which is basically the perfect client. And earlier, me and my partner, we spent thousands of dollars on ads and months trying to figure these kind of insights out, which we're now able to do, test, validate, and then create data backed ad creatives that we just push out. And that's why we actually promise that within 72 hours we can get these insights and get the message market fit through our initial campaign, and launch ads that perform better than any of your ads within 5 days, which lead to at least a 5 to 10% reduction in your customer acquisition cost, depending on your offer. And that's something that we guarantee. Even the time frame, which is because of the AI stuff, and the actual results because of the depth that we have with this whole system. And how the system actually works is, I'm just going to really speed run through this, because if you're actually interested, you can check the doc in the description and you can just see how this whole thing works. But I'm also going to walk you through how you can apply it for yourself if you don't want to work with us. Right now, we're doing this whole thing for about, depending on your offer, between 2 and 2.5K to start off with, because we're just testing this out. So if you have that budget, I would highly suggest checking the doc in the description, because it's going to convert in multiple folds if you are actually spending money on ads. And if you have that money, then I assume that you're making decent money as well. But if not, you can actually still apply the same thing. So what we do is, firstly, we just collect information about the offer, about everything, about your market, and this whole process. Well, I'm actually just getting a call from my partner, but I'm just going to record this whole video and then call him back. But we collect all of that information. Our AI agent then just bunch of our AI agents do research. So they basically we have these set frameworks. They scavenge the internet. They go through different YouTube videos, different comments, a lot of different things, a lot of different data sources based on your niche, depending on your niche, and actual insights into your niche to then collect all of them and collect all of that research phase. And what it does is that's just the first phase. What that results in, it creates an ICP blueprint. We use all these collected insights to create an ICP blueprint. And this is insanely detailed, right? We have the demographics, the psychographics, the current situation, desired situation, a whole bunch more. This is just the first version. And we stimulate a real life role play conversation between you and the ICP to literally predict the exact objections that the ICP may have, using all of the insights we've collected, and extract insights from that conversation to build our initial messaging for testing. And this is an example. So we have, as you see, this was just an example that we're doing for one of our clients. That's the external dialogue. That's the internal dialogue. That's what it means. So I've been managing just fine with referrals. Why would I need anything else? The internal dialogue is referrals are reliable, but what happens if they dry up? I don't want to risk my income. What it means, the reliance on referrals stems from comfort and a fear of the unknown. Messaging should gently challenge this by showing how diversification through consistent lead generation offers stability. Imagine how much time, how much effort, and how much actual being on top of things does it require to collect insights like that. And then we actually have the detailed analysis and actionable insights part as well. The emotional triggers, what it means, like a whole bunch of other stuff, which we'll actually show you. If you're interested on this, you can get on a call with us. We then create 30 to 50 problem statements about the thing that we're selling that the ICP may have. So things like, I'm constantly chasing leads. How do I get people to come to me instead? How can I automate my client acquisition without losing that personal touch? All of this. So things that are set in the ICP's own words are created as problem statements to basically test the waters. What we then do is we move on to the testing creative campaign. We call this the message market fit campaign. We convert these to simple ad creators. We convert all of the pain points into problem statements, which we use as creatives for a low budget engagement campaign or a traffic generation campaign, whatever it may be, depending on your offer, to collect insights at what pain point does the market bite at the most to get the big idea, which will shape the messaging of all the marketing moving forward. So all of this again happens through our whole system again. Like we create there's a bunch of different formats we've tested. We have these Apple Notes format, we have the Twitter format, we just have the text in plain format, just talking about the ICP. Because if this is the thing that your ICP is actually thinking about, they will click. Like let's say if you want to get a six-pack within $100 budget, or like we've used the six-pack example a lot. So let's just say you want to go from making 25K a month to 50K a month through your golfing coaching program. And let's say an ad says, oh, I've reached low 5 figures through teaching people golf, but I actually want to reach 100K a month or something like that, said in a better way, where you'll click on it, right? That's the point. So or the actual deeper layer thing of it, whatever that may mean, that's actually uncovered through this. We're uncovering layers to actually read our ICP's mind. So we then simply launched this campaign. We launched the message market fit campaign, and within 72 hours, we basically start collecting insights. This is an example of what we did. This is actually just an old screenshot. We changed that up, and we get the 1 to 2 big ideas. We just extrapolate that into one big idea, and then we use that to craft your entire messaging. We give you a massively detailed doc about everything. So even if that was the only thing that we were offering, even if that was the only audit that we were offering, that is insanely valuable, because you have this one thing, you have this one North Star that you can base your entire business, messaging, marketing, delivery, sales scripts, everything around, and you know that it'll perform at least 5 to 10% better each. Well, that results in a 5, 10, 100x compounding result over a period of even just a couple of months, and actually see pretty much almost overnight difference within this 5-day period, which is what we've seen. That's why we guarantee that in the first place as well. And then we just launch your data backed ads, and then those data backed ads are actually, I'm actually going to open up the main board because that explains it better, which is over here. So we then launch your data backed ad creatives. I'm just going to wait for this to load. Well, I don't know why Miro is acting up a bit, but yeah, we just launched a data backed ad creatives, which are these different creative formats. It could be animations, it could be talking heads, it could be so that there it is. We'll script and shoot it. We'll leverage the big idea that was done through the mind reading magic that we created, and we test a bunch of different formats out to see how the messaging lands the best as well, because that also matters on an ad platform or a content platform. And then we just launch the ad campaign for you, and you'll see at least a 5 to 10% decrease in acquisition cost in just a couple of days. You'll see the direct relation of it, and you'll actually see the detailed document that we create for you, and it'll be a game changer. Because imagine, like, if you plan to run this business for a good amount of time, well, then you're going to be running some form of traffic. It's going to be content, it's going to be ads, it's going to be even outbound DM setting, it's going to be whatever. You're going to have some form of trust building or conversion mechanism, whether that's a VSL, whether that's educational videos, whether that's emails, and you're going to have some sort of closing or conversion framework, whether that's DM closing, whether that's sales call closing, whether it's a 2-call close, whatever it may be. Well, this messaging can be applied to everything in all of those layers, and you have this one audit that you just did. And if you plan to run your business for years, you did this process which just took 72 hours, probably even less, and then 5 days to actually launch ads. So not only do we give you the insights within the 72 hours that took 3 days, that can now affect the entire longevity of your business as long as you're running the same offer to the same market, which I'm hoping you plan to do. And benefit that infinitely and compound over time. But then you also instantly get those ad creatives that you can see that actually get those results that we promise. That is why we promise at least 5 to 10% decrease in customer acquisition cost, and all these deliverables delivered with the ad creatives in 5 days, and all of the insights, the message market fit delivered in 72 hours. So again, like, if that is something that interests you, which if you are already making money, then it should interest you, then just click the doc. It'll go over the whole process, and you can talk to us. We can go over a few things, and then we can see if you're actually a good fit to work with us, because we're getting a lot of demand for this. So we actually want to see people who we can help. And if you can't afford that, it's going to be a 2.5K investment. I'm just telling you upfront, because we know it's how low of an investment that is compared to the offer. Then you can actually do this whole thing for your own self. Like, literally just write down your offer, write down everything, and then convert that. Just use ChatGPT and then ask it to just basically do these things. And obviously, like, the way we do it, we have a bunch of different data points that go into it, frameworks, and then we convert it into the ad creatives, and then we actually have data. We see what the audience is clicking the most, so we see it. We have this whole system, but you can somewhat extrapolate that and apply the same concepts for yourself. But yeah, if you actually are making any money, then I'd much rather that you do it with somebody who's just done it before. And that's why we basically guarantee what we guarantee, and then that can obviously lead to a whole bunch of other stuff. So if that interests you, click the link in the description. And if you have any other questions, if you don't have the money and if you still want to try this whole thing out, then you can message me, and we can chat on it, and I can help you out as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you.